masks and walking calmly past this car, but moments later, the woman with the dash cam in her car is thrown to the ground by her hair, police say.
Hey YouTube, I'm Baird Kendrick with Bearco Training. I appreciate y'all watching today. You had just listened to a female who had been attacked right after somebody or a few individuals had just tossed a brick through the window of her car. I'm sure that she's going to be fine, at least physically. My question to you is, if you were in the vehicle and the circumstances dictated that you needed to use your firearm to protect yourself, you didn't have the option of getting away, is it realistic to say that you could quickly get your hands on your firearm and get the muzzle to the threat in a short amount of time? How realistic is that? A lot of people change their mode of carry from going outside the vehicle to inside the vehicle, meaning they go from on-body carry to off-body carry. Sometimes this is dictated by the state laws or the legalities in the surrounding areas that we're in. So I understand that, meaning that if your state doesn't legally allow you to have a firearm in it for the reason of personal protection, then you might have to do things like unload it, encase it, and place it in a trunk. This video is about the individual who has a tendency to change their mode of carry for reasons like comfort, meaning that they say that it's uncomfortable to have a gun in a holster for longer periods of time. Look, I'm driving from Louisiana right now down to Orlando, Florida to teach a few blocks of instruction for ICE training. I've got a Glock 19 on me and a defensive knife, both centerline or appendix type carry, to where a lot of people would say, hey, that's way uncomfortable to do that. But yet I don't find it uncomfortable at all. My answer to you is, if it's that uncomfortable, then find a different mode of carry or find a different holster that allows you to carry, that you don't find that you need to remove the firearm from your body even for short trips across the town. So that's one thing that we need to look at. Some people change that mode of carry. They go from on-body carry to potentially a holster mounted in the vehicle for more efficient access, to be able to make themselves a little bit more efficient in getting to that firearm and getting the muzzle on the target in a shorter amount of time. So I understand that. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's also some other things that we need to look at with that individual as well. We all live very distracted lives. As you're sitting here watching this video, you're distracted to other things going on around you. If you're driving down the road, you're distracted from the phone call that you're on, from the traffic that you're in, other drivers, things like that, all the way down to the fact that the radio station's not playing the music that you want to listen to. Those are all distractions. Distractions lead to forgetful type moments. If you can sit here and tell me that you live your life from day to day and you never have forgetful moments, then you're a whole lot better than the rest of us. But for most people, we have several forgetful moments throughout the day. What we're trying to avoid is things like, here I am on a 9-hour drive where I've already stopped twice, once for gasoline, once to eat lunch. I don't want to forget that my firearm is in the vehicle. And doing that, I don't have a real means of protection once I'm leaving the vehicle. Also, I've created easier access to other individuals who might be in the car, such as my kids or people who aren't trained on that specific firearm or aren't trained in firearm safety. So those are the variables that we need to be looking at as well. I have a friend in the industry that he had one of those forgetful type moments. He's traveling, ended up having to get gas, pulls over, he keeps a firearm for self-defense. He's sitting there pumping his gas when he was being aggressively approached by a few individuals that it was very clear to him his life was in danger. So he gave some verbal commands while also placing his hand where his firearm is. And that was enough to where he was able to psychologically stop the threats. That was good. The threats go the other direction. He's left standing there with his heart pounding out of his chest, and then he quickly realizes that his gun's not even on him. It's in the car. He had gone there just out of habit and placed his hand where the firearm would normally be, but it was not there. He left it in his car. He realized at that point he had made a huge mistake, and the only reason he'd really potentially survived that situation is because he was bluffing, more or less. At least that's what it could be looked at. So he came to make the decision that he's never going to make that mistake again. And from that point moving forward, he always carries the firearm in his holster and has decided not to take it off his body once he's on the inside of the vehicle. So going back and looking at the original female attacked in her car, is your current method of carry setting yourself up for success or setting yourself up for failure? If you keep a firearm for the purpose of self-defense, then you have to ask yourself those questions. I'm Barrett Kendrick with Bearco Training. I thank y'all again for watching today. Remember, get out there and train realistically. I hope to see y'all on the range sometime.